So you've seen a bunch of Windows laptops and MacBooks on the show, but if you're in the market for a new premium laptop, something that can take on the MacBook Airs and MacBook Pros of the world, then Samsung has the new Samsung Galaxy Book 3. We gave you a first look at the launch event, but now we've been using it for some time, so we want to give you a few quick observations about this particular product. Firstly, when you hold it, it seems very light, not as sturdy as some of the other laptops from Dell and Apple, but I honestly think if you're traveling with something like this, it's way more compact and way more durable and can fit in even any tiny laptop sleeve or even in the small little compartment in my bag. And for that, well, I think they've done a great job with design. Now, Samsung says the speakers on this device are tuned by AKG, and honestly, although it's a super slim laptop, I don't know how they managed to do it, but the sound is as good, if not better, than even a MacBook or a top Dell computer. So they've done a good job there as well. So if you're holding it like this in one hand and you're calling this the Galaxy Book 3 Pro, it's not an apples to apples comparison if you're comparing it to the Apple ecosystem. No, this doesn't compare to the MacBook Pro with M2, which is truly the gold standard of computing and processing. It can compare to some extent with the M2 MacBook Air. This is a very, very powerful chipset inside it. Intel has tried to do a little bit of magic here as well. We'll tell you all about it through the course of this video, but honestly, this is lighter. This seems a bit more sturdy, and we'll also tell you whether you should go in for this or this through the course of this review. But let's talk about the Galaxy Book 3 Pro. This is the 14-inch edition, and it comes with this really nice AMOLED screen. And you can see it's this gorgeous 14-inch AMOLED screen, and the colors on a Samsung device, honestly, are just so vibrant and gorgeous. I honestly think it is one of the best displays I have seen on a Pro laptop, comparable to the top of the heap, because Samsung really knows how to get their displays right. This is the sort of display they use on their high-end phones. And if you have a Galaxy S23 Ultra especially, you'll understand what I'm talking about in terms of vibrancy and how they saturate colors. I love that sort of color science, but that's subjective. It is a very good display. You can watch content on this. The speakers by AKG are tuned fairly well, and it gets the job done. In terms of ports, of course, it comes with a headphone jack. Thank God that they're not pushing us to the wireless ecosystem. When you're on a laptop, you often need wired headphones, and that's why it has that as well. It also comes with a USB-A connector, an SD card slot, and of course 2 USB-Cs and an HDMI slot right here. Now the USB-Cs can do 65 watt of fast charging with the charger that is supplied in the box, which you can do with this 65 watt fast charger that Samsung has provided with the box. It comes with a super fast charging sign out there, and I think that gets the basic job done. It has a Windows Hello compliant web camera, so if you're doing your team calls or Zoom calls, I think it'll do a fairly decent job. Although we have continuity camera now on the MacBooks, and we're doing all sorts of cool things with the iPhone connected to the MacBooks, but that's just what's here in front of you to look and feel. Now, Intel used to enjoy a lot more control of the chipset market until Apple came out with their own silicon, and then we've seen what they did with M1 and M2, and honestly, a lot of the Intel chipsets out there can't even compare to the M1, which is the old generation of the M series. The M2 now on the MacBook Air and MacBook Pro and of course the iPads is absolutely bewildering and mind-boggling in terms of what it can do. Well, this in Samsung's premium device is an attempt with Intel to come up with something flagship as well. It comes with a processor that they say truly means business. The Galaxy Book 3 Pro comes with a 13th gen Intel Core processor giving multi-core performance, and of course it also comes with an Intel Xe graphics card and PCIe SSD storage. It's 3K in resolution and has a super smooth 120Hz refresh rate, giving you a cinematic and seamless viewing experience. You get this, of course, on the 14-inch edition and, of course, on the 16-inch edition. Now, if you watch Tech Today regularly, then you'll know that we were at the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event a few months ago. And while the S23 lineup and the S23 Ultra, the smartphone taking on the iPhone 14, was the ultimate showstopper, there were more things on display. And something that caught my eye was the Samsung ecosystem or their connected ecosystem that they are building on. And honestly, Samsung has a low-hanging fruit if they can get that right, because yes, just like Apple, they have headphones, they have their Buds 2 Pro, they have a smartwatch, now these flagship laptops, tablets. Of course, they also have their flagship device, the S23 lineup, the Galaxy lineup, so to speak. And then they also have ACs, televisions, refrigerators. Honestly, if they can get it all together, and we're talking about a connected ecosystem, the Internet of Things, and how we want all our devices to operate with one remote control, which might just be your mobile device, Samsung can get that right. But there are things about the Apple ecosystem which have been unparalleled and no one has gotten it right until now. But on testing this Samsung connected ecosystem, we did use features where we could start our work on one device and then hand it over to the other device almost seamlessly. We could also use their wearable device as a pointer on their other devices. We could also use two different computing devices as screens, just like we use on the iPad and of course the MacBook. So Samsung is building on that ecosystem and the implementation is there, but it's still work in progress, and that's something we'll be tracking very closely. So it really boils down to, should you buy a Galaxy Book 3 Pro or a MacBook Air? Honestly, this at 1,35,000 rupees is a little more expensive than the M2 MacBook Air. The chipset on board with this guy is way more powerful than the one on this, but there are a few things that are working for this device as well. If you're into gaming, with its graphics card and the fact that it's a Windows laptop, it will do a far better job than you choosing to buy a MacBook as a gaming computer. Also, because it comes with Windows and all the things happening in the AI world, especially with Microsoft really embedding ChatGPT across its products, Bing with their search engine, even across Office and Outlook, this is a device where you'd want to tinker around with that AI revolution a lot more, maybe not this one. So in a nutshell, if you have a Samsung Galaxy device and maybe a couple of other Samsung devices at home, this is now a very strong contender to be in the Galaxy ecosystem and make your job a whole lot easier. But if you're comparing it to the MacBook Air, then do remember that if you're on the Apple ecosystem, this is the best value for money product that you can get your hands on. That said, a good job done by Samsung. When it comes to editing and stuff like that, we will have to check a lot more here on Tech Today, whether this can edit the show as well as our iPad and our MacBook can. But honestly, it's a step in the right direction. For more on this particular device, stay tuned to the Tech Today website. That's techtoday.in.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.